everyone, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about different types of monthly spreads that you can do in your bullet journal. So when I talk to a lot of people, first of all, if they know what a bullet journal is in the first place, they might want to get different ideas for different layouts in their journal. So some people like monthly layouts, some people prefer weekly or a combination of both, and other people do daily logs similar to a rolling daily. And I'm going to do kind of like a series, I guess, on my channel about all of the different layouts that you can do in your bullet journal. We're going to have monthly, which is today's video. We'll do weekly layouts, some daily layouts, and then we'll get into different types of habit trackers as well as productivity spreads that you can do for yourself. And I just think it's going to be really interesting because it's something that I've experimented with the entire time I've been bullet journaling. I love changing my layouts every single month. I can't keep it the same because I just like to see what works best for me. And even if something does work really awesome for me, I usually change it anyway, just because I get bored so quickly. So let's get into the very first one. So I am using this like practice Leuchtturm notebook. So you can see through the paper basically on this, but don't mind the shadowing. I just wanted to do some spreads in a notebook that wasn't in my own because I am running out of pages. So the first spread that I usually go to for my calendar grid spread is this one here. So there's different elements to a monthly spread that will make it look different from anything else that you do. So the first one, as you can see here, I have only used a black pen. So I actually used a Tombow Funasuke hard tip black pen, as well as a fine liner and white gel pen. And that's really all you need in your arsenal. I mean, you could use a blue ballpoint too. It doesn't really matter what you use. But these spreads, I've tried to make them as minimalist as possible so that if you want to add doodles around the border, you can, because then you can customize your monthly spread and have a theme like a lot of people do in their bullet journals. But this one does have, it's what I would call a floating calendar. So the boxes have a space between them, and these particular boxes are 5 wide by 5 down, so they're completely square. But you can change it, of course, by making your boxes taller or longer, whatever fits on the page size that you're using. I also used a calligraphy font up here. I did put the dates in black and then the white gel pen over top, so that kind of gives it an artistic appeal. And then I had room on the side. So personally, in my bullet journals, I'll always add my YouTube subscriber count because it's just something I'm tracking. But again, you can customize your spread any way you want. So in this particular monthly calendar, I have monthly tasks here and monthly goals. So again, you can change it depending on what you have more of. Maybe you aren't really tracking goals, so you can put all of your monthly tasks here, or you can leave it on a separate page and just have a blank calendar, and it'll look a little bit more minimalist, especially if you leave blank space around the calendar. So that's the first style of calendar. The next one is a different style of calendar. So here you can see that I have not included any spaces between the boxes. So it's all compact. It is spread over 2 pages. I changed the font and I put it on the right side of the page instead of the left. And then I had room to add trackers here and the weather. So again, you can add any type of trackers if you prefer to have trackers on the monthly page. I do a monthly page tracker, but I do it on a separate page. So again, you can have it completely empty, or you can add doodles in the margins, completely up to you. As you can see how it compares to this type of calendar, the boxes in this one are bigger. I did 6 by 6 instead of 5 by 5. The dates up at the top are in white with black printing, and then the area where the numbers are, I did little black circles with white overlay on top. So that's another option that you can do to change things up in your monthly spread. So I personally like this style. I like that it's bigger because you can write more things on it. The only thing is I'm not too happy with this. I think it makes the page look cluttered, but there are some beautiful spreads I've seen on Pinterest and Instagram that have the whole page filled with stuff, and then it's very useful because you're not wasting pages. Wasting pages is another thing that people worry about because maybe they don't have enough money to buy another journal, you know, in the next 3 or 4 months. So they want to use as much or maximize their space. So that's something to think about when you're making a bullet journal as well. So moving on to the next calendar. So this is completely different now. So this is more of the Ryder Carroll style of monthly calendar, and it's very simple. It takes seconds to write out. So the first style is what I've seen Ryder Carroll do. You simply put the month name at the top and then the dates and then the days of the week going down the side. So then when you come to one of those days, you can write down any appointments or things that you need to do. And another thing that I like to do, I usually highlight the Sunday, but I have been getting more into a Monday start of a week. So you can highlight the start of the week so you can kind of get a glimpse of where the week starts. And then this side is something that I personally prefer. So what I was doing for the longest time was putting my personal calendar on the left and my video schedule on the right, or my personal calendar on the left and then anything to do with my son's school on the right. So you can really, again, change it to your needs, but then this allows you to separate the types of things you need to do. So one could be for home tasks or appointments, one could be for business, and it's just nice to have a separation so that you're not, you know, looking amidst all of the stuff. And then here, if you have like, you know, 2 or more appointments on one date, you would normally put a comma or something, some kind of like something to show that they're 2 different tasks, where here you don't have to do that. You could just like put them on either side of the line. So a lot of times what I'll do in my own bullet journal is I'll have a calendar like this on the first page after like the monthly title page, and then I'll have a spread like this because I like to visualize my week. I like to visualize my week with this calendar, but then I like to see my appointments laid out on this calendar. So it might sound over excessive, but it's what I prefer in my journal. And the whole point of bullet journal is you can make it any way that you want. So the next spread, I also really like this, and this really is more of a minimalist style as well. So again, it's just black pen. There's no white ballpoint, or there's no brush pen either. So all you simply do is write lines, and then you have these small little grid boxes. These are 4x4. So really, depending on the size of your grid boxes, you can change your calendar and again the style. So instead of doing any outlining of the boxes or any of the days of the week, you just write them on the top, and it just looks clean and simplistic. And then I did some foligraphy here. So I just hand lettered it, and then I added downstrokes after. And then I have a mid-month reflection on the bottom because I like to have, if I've got a tiny calendar on one side of the page, I do like to use the rest of the space for my goals and my tasks. So on the right side, I did put goals. So I've got personal, business, and financial. Again, you can customize that to your needs. And then mid-month reflection, it's always good to check in where you're standing on your goals throughout the month. And these next 2 spreads are both different. So this one here is a tiny little calendar, and then you've either got appointments or important dates and then a small place for reflection, or you can get rid of the reflection and just have appointments and important dates. And this is one that I've seen Claudia Joseph use quite often in her bullet journals. So this next one is, again, this list style calendar. So appointments and events on this side. And then you've got a tiny calendar so you can kind of visualize your week on a layout of the calendar. Then you have an area for monthly tasks and notes. And then you could change either of these for goals as well if you wish. And I like this style because it's simplistic. You still kind of have the best of both worlds. You have a calendar to look at, and then you have this style of calendar as well. And so again, this is anything, all of your monthly tasks that are scheduled. So say you have an appointment or an event to go to, you write it here. And then this area is monthly tasks that do not have a specific date associated with them. So anything written down here is stuff you just want to get done as long as it gets done in that month. Okay, So now the rest of them are pretty much just variations of all of the ones I've showed you, but it is nice to have some idea of, what you can do. So the next one is again a calendar. It is similar to the simplistic style where you just have the lines, but then I added these little boxes to showcase the number in highlighted white gel ink. And then you've got room for monthly tasks on the right-hand side, a tiny spot for goals, and then an area for habits. So I have done this in one of my bullet journal spreads where I only wanted to track like 5 things, and it worked out. I personally track like 12 to like 20 things every week, which is crazy. And I'm trying to make those into a habit that I don't even have to track, just something that I do every single day. So eventually it would be nice to work my way down to only a few, because the less things you have to track, the easier it is to do and the more likely that you'll stick with your bullet journal. So this is a very good layout for someone who doesn't have that many habits to track. And then here, I didn't even think about this. You can leave it completely blank if you wanted to have it very minimalist, or you could have like a mid-month reflection right here, and that would be nice too. Okay, the next one is again a calendar grid style layout. So I realize now looking back that you don't really have that much room here unless you write really, really tiny. So this is similar. I changed the color and I got rid of the habit tracker, but I put a monthly focus here instead. So it can still be similar to a goal. So sometimes I call it a focus goal, but you want to really narrow it down to just one thing in each of the categories of your choice, because then you can just focus on those things and get them done, get them out of the way, and then move on to new goals for the next month. And then again, here are goals and then tasks, or completely wipe that away and just have this beautiful calendar spread over the entire page. It will look simplistic and beautiful and minimalist and lovely. And the other option again is to add your doodles or your monthly theme doodles all around the border of the page. And the very last couple of spreads that I have, again, this is similar to one I've already showed, except I've just changed the font and the style of the calendar. I like this because it's simple. It's black background with white gel pen over top, and then you simply have room for appointments and events. So I guess this is really an all-encompassing spread. It's like a double-page spread. So this would be for appointments and events, and then this is the area where you have reflection, habits, and goals, or you could change it to monthly tasks if you want. And I really like this as well, and this is another spread that I've seen Claudia Joseph use, and I think I've used this in my 2020 July bullet journal setup. It was the one where I had koi fish. I'll link that for you if you're curious. I did tons of different experimental spreads that month because I wanted to see how it would work for me, and I enjoyed it, but I went back to my one calendar instead of like all the multi-calendars I made in that spread. But that is it for my monthly spread layout. I hope this gave you some inspiration and ideas to use in your own journal. Another thing that I wanted to say was that if you want to change up your monthly spreads, you can also add any type of color that you want. So some people prefer pastels because you can easily write in black pen over top and it looks really, really pretty. And you can also add drop shadows. So say for instance, you're doing the calendar like this one here. You can add a drop shadow to each of the boxes and it just looks so beautiful and gives your page some dimension. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed all of these ideas. If you did, give me a comment down below. Be sure to like this video with a big thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And last but not least, click on that bell button to be notified every time I upload a new video. And we will talk to you guys again in the next one. Bye now.